everyone, it's Emily bringing you another Grass River microclass on this beautiful blustery fall day. So today what I wanted to talk about is the science behind why leaves change color. We'll talk about the 4 main pigments in deciduous leaves and why they interact and how they interact to produce fall's beautiful palette. So we're going to be hiking around the Chippewa, Nipissing, and rail trails today, checking out some of these colorful uplands. So in order to start to understand why leaves change color in the fall, we first need to talk about why deciduous trees lose their leaves in the fall, because it's all connected. So the short answer to that is that deciduous trees drop their leaves in the fall because the shortening day length in the fall triggers the leaves to do that. But the real reason behind why they're triggered to do that, has to do with energetics and how much energy the tree puts out to keep its leaves or drop them versus takes in by keeping its leaves through photosynthesis. So up here in the northern latitudes, it's advantageous for trees to drop their leaves and grow them every year again in the spring. That actually takes less energy than it does for the tree to maintain its leaves all winter long if it were to keep them on the tree. And even the tiny amount of energy that the tree would be taking in through like limited photosynthesis in the winter would not be enough to offset that balance. So deciduous trees lose their leaves because it costs less to go into dormancy than to upkeep leaves all year round. And so what the tree starts to do this time of year is it starts to create what's called an abscission layer or an abscission zone at the spot where the leaf stalk meets the tree branch. And it's kind of like a corky layer of cells that serve to both sever the leaf, but when the leaf has fallen, it kind of acts like a block as a wound block for the bark, so that the tree doesn't have just like a bunch of tiny open wounds all over its body when it drops its leaves. So now that we know why deciduous trees drop their leaves, a quick side note before we start talking about leaf pigments and color is you might be wondering why all trees don't drop their leaves in the fall here, like conifers. And that has to do with the leaf shape. It's basically like a very tightly rolled up leaf. And so that minimizes the water loss. And also they have a waxy coating generally that minimizes water loss. And so conifers have adapted a strategy where they'll take in a little bit of energy through limited photosynthesis in the winter, where they're able to gather, limited sunlight and limited water during thaws. And they do that and maintain their leaves as opposed to dropping them and growing them anew every spring. So it has to do with leaf shape. And then if we think about why there are broad-leaved evergreen trees further south, like magnolias, or even further south in the tropics, most of the plants have leaves that stay on the tree year round. And that has to do with, they don't have to battle the very short day length that we have up here in the winter, so there's more opportunity for photosynthesis, and all of the water is not locked up in snow and ice because of warmer temperatures. So let's talk about why leaves change color. It all has to do with the tree stopping the production of chlorophyll, because chlorophyll is continuously breaking down. It degrades in the presence of bright sunlight, so it's continuously breaking down, and the tree throughout the growing season is continuously producing more chlorophyll because chlorophyll is essential for the tree to be able to photosynthesize, right? And it's also what gives the tree the leaf its green color. But when the tree stops producing chlorophyll because it's getting ready to go into dormancy in the fall and it's getting ready to drop its leaves, the leaf will it'll be drained of its green color, and it will reveal the rest of the pigments that have been there all along but were just being masked by the green chlorophyll. So it produces, or it reveals 2 main pigments that have been underneath the chlorophyll the whole time, and those are carotenoids and xanthophylls, and they're responsible for like a light orange yellow color, and so that is what is that's what you're seeing in the brilliant golden foliage of things like aspens and birches in the fall. And xanthophylls and carotenoids actually do have a purpose other than making the leaf very beautiful in the fall. They're both responsible for slowing the oxidation of chlorophyll, so they kind of protect the chlorophyll in the leaf, and also they are able to capture some light themselves, not as much as the chlorophyll, but different wavelengths of light they absorb, and then they're able to transfer it to the chlorophyll to aid in photosynthesis. So in addition to the chlorophyll, xanthophyle, and carotenoids that are present in the leaf year-round, or at least, throughout the entire growing season, there's a fourth pigment at play. And this pigment is only produced in the fall, and it's only produced in some trees. And it is called Anthocyanin, and it produces a beautiful, vibrant red color. So any leaves that have red in them, like this red maple leaf, or fiery orange, like sugar maples, or things that are more purple, like some dogwoods, probably have some anthocyanin in them. And it's produced in response to sunlight. So scientists still don't really understand what exactly it does, exactly what purpose it serves, but they think it has something to do with buying the tree more time to reabsorb all of the nutrients that are in the leaf, especially things like nitrogen that are very prevalent in the leaf. So it might work by actually being kind of like a sort of sunscreen, like a physical block that allows the plant to take back all the nutrients before they're lost forever in the falling leaf. So I said that anthocyanins are produced in response to sunlight. And so that is because sunlight causes the tree whatever residual chlorophyll that is left in there. And remember, the xanthophylls and the carotenoids can capture some light too, and transfer that to the chlorophyll, which then can convert that into sugar. So whatever pigments are left in there that are still photosynthesizing a little bit, more sunlight means more sugar will be produced, and a higher concentration of sugar in the tree sap in the leaves, and so then the tree produces more anthocyanin, to be able to capture all of that before the leaf falls. And so you can start to see how sunnier falls, especially when the sunny days are coupled with warm temperatures during the day, would lead to brighter fall foliage throughout the season. There's a flip side to that though, in that certain stressors, like really cold nights that are near freezing but don't get quite to freezing, or lower nutrient levels in the soil, those stressors can also cause the tree to produce more anthocyanin, because it is basically saying, oh no, I need to gather all of the nutrients that I can because I'm really not in a good spot. And so you can start to see, even on individual trees, certain branches that get more sunlight will be brighter in color than the rest of the tree if it's a type of tree that produces anthocyanin. And we can start to see that here actually, with the south-facing side of the rail trail being quite colorful versus the north side that is not getting nearly as much sunlight, being not very colorful at all yet. And it's similar forest types on either side, maples with some aspens and pines mixed in. So basically, the moral of this video is that leaf color in the fall all is produced by a blending and a combination of any residual chlorophyll in the leaf, plus the yellows and oranges of xanthophylls and carotenoids, plus anthocyanin if it's a tree species that produces anthocyanin. Okay, so I hope you learned something in this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye.